Hey Archery Talk, this is Lucas, and it is officially time for the 2022 Hunting Bow Shootout. I was actually hoping to get this done a little bit earlier, but due to some extenuating circumstances, some bows arriving a little bit later than I expected, and just my schedule, I just wasn't able to get it done until now. But let's not dwell on the past. Let's look to these awesome bows that we're going to test out this year. In the order I received them, we've got the Mathews V3X 29, the Prime Inline 3, the Elite Envision, the PSE EVO XF 33, and the Hoyt RX-7 Ultra. Yes, I know that not every bow is represented this year. There's some manufacturers that chose not to participate, and I also just have limited available free time. I do these reviews when I can on my off hours, and I don't always have a lot of those. So bear with me. These are the bows I was able to get my hands on to test this year. I will try to test more if I can next year, but I can't make any promises beyond that. Also, it should be noted that any opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. What I like in a bow, you might like something different. That's okay. Let me know in the comments if you've tested some of these bows and you have some different opinions than mine. I can take it. That's okay. Even recording this video, I can already hear the angry comments coming on YouTube and on Facebook. And don't worry, I got plenty of whiskey in my cupboard to dull the pain from any insulting or hurtful things you throw my way. Now let's get started with the actual shootout. I have got this organized by category. There's a number of different categories, and each will affect the overall kind of ranking of these bows at the end of the video. Let's get going. Let's start with the draw cycle, and that's where I like to start all of my reviews and shootout videos, because if you don't enjoy drawing your bow again and again and again, you're not going to enjoy shooting it. And this year my top choice was the Elite Envision. Now I have a full draw cycle video comparing all 5 bows. You can go check out if you'd like, but the bottom line is Elite's bow just felt like it was easier to pull than the others. It doesn't feel like it's a 70-pound bow. Not that any of the other ones were particularly aggressive, but the Elite was just dead easy to draw. I was maybe a tiniest dip into the valley, but it just doesn't feel, it feels like I'm pulling like a 63, 64-pound bow. So kudos to Elite for that. Next up was the Prime Inline 3, which was just a dead linear draw. Just no hump into the valley whatsoever, and I would probably put the Mathews V3X 29 right on par with the Prime. Again, in a very similar draw, just super smooth right into the wall. And then the PSE and the Hoyt were just behind those. Next up, we're going to look at speed, because I know a lot of you folks are really into how fast bows are. I tried to set up all of the bows with 30 inches of draw length and 70 pounds of draw weight, or as close as I could possibly get to those numbers, and I shot each of them with the same 350 grain gold tip platinum pierce arrow. And the bow that came out on top was the Mathews V3X 29. I shot this bow an average of 330 feet per second. That just edged out the PSE EVO XF 33, followed by the Hoyt RX-7 Ultra, and then the Prime, and then the Elite. Everything was within, I think, 12 feet a second overall, but the Mathews edged out for first place. Now let's talk about stability and accuracy. In other words, how do these bows shoot? How do they hold at full draw? And for me, the winner here was the Hoyt RX-7 Ultra. Again, this is the longest axle-to-axle bow I've got this year at 34 inches, and it just holds like a champ for me at full draw. I'm using the 85% let-off setting right now. I did not like this at 80, but at 85, this thing is just a champ for me. It's the most accurate bow I've shot this year. Really like how it feels. I would probably put the Prime Inline 3 at a close second, and maybe the rest are, everything else is very good. All of these bows shoot way better than I do. Just want to get that, let that be known. But yeah, I would still give the Hoyt the edge overall. So once you let that arrow go, how do these bows feel? We're talking noise and vibration. And in prior years, this was always a one-horse race. The Mathews line, really since the Tri-X, has been just incredibly quiet and incredibly vibration-free. Like, we're to the point where I just didn't understand how it was even possible. But they've got a new challenger in town, and then in the Hoyt RX-7 Ultra. I've always found carbon bows have a history to maybe be a little bit buzzy and a little more noisy than you'd expect from an aluminum counterpart, but Hoyt found a magic formula with their new riser on the RX-7 Ultra, and this bow is just dead quiet. The rest of them really fall into place right after that. Everything's fairly close behind. I would probably get the PSE in third place, and then the Elite and the Prime are probably tied for fourth overall. None of them are what you call super loud or buzzy. These are all not super hyper speed bows. They're comfortable shooters, and then they're pretty comfortable after the shot as well. Another category I like to talk about is grip, and I'm a very simple man when it comes to this. I like a grip that is flat on the front, not so wide that it doesn't fit my hand properly, and not so narrow that it's uncomfortable to hold. And the only one of those bows that ticks the boxes this year is the Elite Envision. I absolutely love the grip on this bow. It is, I would call it a perfect bow grip for a hunting bow or a target bow. The other bows I've shot this year all have kind of like a rubber or plastic over top of the grip. I think you could eliminate the one on the PSE and just shoot off the riser like you do on the Elite. But overall, this one is the winner for me. The other ones are all fine. None of them feel bad to me. I just love how this bow feels in my hand. My next category is tuning, and I'm happy to report that none of these bows give me any real issues as far as getting an arrow flight exactly how I wanted it. But there was one standout, and that is again the Elite Envision. With Elite set technology, all you have to do is loosen a set screw at the back and then make a very small adjustment to this screw left or right, and that will make the cam kind of rotate left or right one way or the other. And you can make all of your tuning adjustments without a bow press. You could do this right on the shooting line. You could do this in the field, wherever you want to have this ability to make changes to your bow. Set technology lets you do that. It is a brilliant system, and it's the easiest one to tune with I've got this year, so kudos to Elite for finishing top spot there. Fit and finish is up next, and I'm going to be honest here, it's not one of the most important categories to me. I think, bows are tools, and tools are going to get scratches and dings and whatever on them. And that's perfectly fine by me, but if I had to pick a winner in this category, I'm going to go with the Hoyt RX-7 Ultra. One, I think that curved, like smooth carbon riser is as good looking as any I've ever seen, and then the camo wrap on this was just flawless. Again, I've had some trouble with other Hoyt camo bows in the past. You could see kind of some weird lines, maybe where things are meeting. This is just a perfect looking camo job to me, so I'm going to give Hoyt top marks for that. But to be honest, I mean, Prime easily could have won this category. I think they have the hardest lasting finish of any bows I've ever tested in my life. Those bows, they stand up and they look great. They have an awesome selection of colors. But realistically, these are all flagship level bows, and they're all offer flagship level looks, and I think they'll all hold up as long as you will. Our final category is price and value, and we've got a bit of a three-horse race here. The Elite Envision, the Prime Inline 3, and the Mathews V3X 29 all carry the exact same $1,100 price tag. I'm going to have to give the nod overall, however, to Elite, just because, again, that's set technology. Being able to make adjustments to your bow easily without a bow press from anywhere you want to make them that is big marks for me. And the fact that they were able to include that on a bow and still keep it as tied for the least expensive bow I'm testing this year is the reason that wins that category for me. I would probably put Prime maybe second overall, mostly because you get the free replacement strings every 2 years. So if you need strings and cables and you're the original owner of that bow, you've got them for as long as you own that bow. That's a pretty cool feature for a lot of hunters out there, I would think. And Mathews, again, is a very close third place. Again, if that stay field system was included with the Mathews bows, that's a tuning system that Mathews offers you. It's like a cable that you can use to attach to the cams to make string changes. You can actually change your string in the field or make adjustments to cables. If that was included in the package, I would probably move Mathews right closer to the top. But because you have to buy that separately, that's it's a very close contest, and the little things make a big difference. Now comes the hard part. I have to pick a winner, and that's always a challenge for me because all the bows I'm testing are very good. Flagship level bows all shoot great. They all look great. They had very similar performance numbers as far as speed goes. The draw cycles were all comparable to each other. And I was ultimately torn here between two bows, which you might have noticed from the winners of these categories, and that was with the Hoyt Carbon RX-7 and the Elite Envision. I love how the Hoyt shoots. It's super accurate. It looks fantastic. It's reasonably quick too for a bow that had the tied for the lowest rated speed. It ended up third overall in actual speed rankings through my chronograph. But it's got a big disparity when it comes to the price. Whereas the Elite Envision has the smoothest draw cycle. It's got the greatest grip, and it's wildly easy to tune. And so for that reason, I'm going to have to put Elite as the winner of this shootout. So I would like to thank all of the manufacturers for loaning me bows here to test out this year, and I hope they'll continue to do so in years to come. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel an awful lot, and we'll see you again soon.